if you look at the coaching hot seat right now, super hot is Jimbo Fisher.
Number one. That's your number one.
No question.
Okay.
And then you got this group of Pittman, Beamer, and Arnett.
Who would you put at number two? Would it be Pittman?
Well, they're actually, I think, better coached and playing better than South Carolina.
Yeah.
And they're in a and this is where I know I harp on this, Jason, but please, I can't say this enough. Arkansas is in a much, much, much tougher division.
Oh, yeah.
Than South Carolina.
No doubt.
And I know we're doing away with them at the end of the year. But that's why, what Lane has been able to do at Ole Miss is impressive. He has kept that quarterback play at a high level. He inherited Corral and made him better.
Yes.
I mean, give Phil Longo credit, going out there and getting him at the final, at the witching hour. Phil Longo, it's funny, Ole Miss fans will dog Longo. And I'm like, Hugh Freeze stepped down on July 20th of his first year as him being an offensive coordinator at Ole Miss. I mean, things were haywire. Nobody knew, that was a massive disruption because Freeze is a hell of a head coach.
Yeah.
But Longo in the final hour goes and gets Matt Corral. Elijah Moore hikes his leg. And Keith Carter has, let me tell you this. I know there was some hesitancy for some people, and I know that Lane has been a handful and he's a little quirky and all that. But Keith Carter, when Lane Kiffin's about to sign on the dotted line for the Arkansas Razorbacks, Keith Carter surveys the landscape of college football and who he had talked to up to that point. And he goes, I can't let this happen. I have to go get that guy. And he did. And you could argue that this is the best hire in the state of Mississippi since Mullen and Freeze.
Yeah.
Okay? And Keith is now playing with chips, equity, because that's the reason why he was able to do the basketball thing, even though there was a lot of baggage there. Okay?
Right.
He got Ole Miss competitive right out of the jump, dropped a Sugar Bowl. Last year it wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible. Even the way the year ended, it was still, you could tell, hey, this guy's going to be good, or Lane's going to bring in somebody better at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And what Lane has decided is, we're going to go get points. This is the way the game is played today. We're never going to have a defense like Georgia. We're never going to have a defense like Bama. Even look what Michigan's doing. Good Lord. And so you know what he said? Hey, I can scheme and play call with anybody else in the country, just about. And the quarterback room is going to be full of talent, and we're going to go score points and be exciting. And Keith Carter could have easily picked another 4 or 5 dudes. And he picked Lane Kiffin, and it has turned out to be one hell of a hire for Ole Miss. I know there's always going to be ups and downs.
Right, no doubt.
But when you look at start to finish and what he's done with the quarterback room and the way that he can scheme your blank off and the way defense is played this day and age, and everything favors the offense. Everything. Space, the way the game is called. Keith Carter, on a scale of 1 to 10, he hit a 10. I know Lane's not, but at that program, he hit a 10. And it's the higher of the last, decade?
Oh, yes.
In the state of Mississippi.
Gotta
and one of the better hires in the SEC, because Pittman, Beamer, some of those guys aren't even in the same area code as Lane Kiffin.
Don't miss one moment of the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Weekdays, 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.